Hello, my name is Sawaun Blakely. I'm born and raised here in Columbus, Ohio. I am a producer, a creative director, a fashion stylist, and a father. So some memories that I have from my childhood, I am the youngest of 10 children. When I was 8 years old, we had a big house fire here in Columbus, Ohio. My brother tried to go and save my sister because everyone was outside, and he wasn't able to save my sister. So my sister died in that house fire. And my brother suffered from burns all over his face, his hands, third-degree burns. And that's what started everything with my mother and my father, with drugs and alcohol. So growing up, it was pretty much a rough childhood. I didn't understand it until I was older. We moved from house to house, east side, west side, north side, south side. It was a constant battle with my mother and drugs, alcohol, verbal abuse, physical abuse. When I was about 7, one of my siblings, molestation started with a sibling of mine that led into, I was about 13, 7 to 13. And I would tell my mother like what was going on, and she just did not know what to do because back then therapy was so taboo. My brother, he came into the room, and I was laying in the bed, and he began to fondle, touch on me. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he was just like, I don't know, but don't tell anyone. And so that continued on until I was about 13. I thought it had stopped because my brother moved out and left. But then another sibling of mine came along and did the same thing. So to me, being this young kid, I'm like, what is wrong with me? Why is this happening to me? From my siblings, I had no understanding from that. So it was something that, as a Black community, a Black family, that was swept under the rug, which I feel like that's why it continued to happen, because nothing was dealt with when it was addressed. So my mom began to be like my protector. So from 13 on up into her death, she was like my protector. Like anything happened to me, she was there. Jump into me in junior high and high school. I was self-conscious about my appearance. I had big teeth, lips, dark skin. I didn't feel like I was loved. I didn't know my self-worth. I was bullied in school because of the things that I wanted to do. I wanted to do girl activities, as they say, tetherball, hang with the girls. So I was bullied by a lot of people, not only by people in school, by community, by church, where it put me in a shell. What's up, everyone? My name is Sawan, and you are watching Black, Bold, and Beautiful, My Story. I didn't really love myself, so I was figuring out who I was mentally, physically, and I had a friend in middle school, and I was like, well, maybe if I become her friend and everyone knows like, oh, he has a girlfriend, they would stop with the gay rumors. And she became my real close friend. And we conceived a child. We conceived a child when I was 15 years old, which was scary because I was a kid myself. My father wasn't in my life. My mom was busy doing her life. At this point, she's recovered from drugs and alcohol. She's in the prisons talking about reentry and in the community. And here I am, 15 years old, and I'm a father. So that stunned me, it stunned the family, and I wasn't prepared for it. So I ran. I didn't want to accept the fact that I was a dad. So through high school, I was mentally not there all through high school. I did what I wanted to do. I skipped school. I was disobedient. I had a lot of older guy friends, as you could say, mentors, which I thought were mentors, but learning now, like, I was their prey. Looking at that, being 16, 17, and having grown men in their 40s approaching me, doing things for me, and I'm like, okay, yes, accepting gifts, things like that, which I knew wasn't right, but I didn't understand. And then I felt like someone was loving me because I didn't love myself, so it was like, okay. So my senior year out of high school, I received a phone call, and it's from Columbus Public Health, and they say, hey, someone you've been with tested positive for HIV, and we need you to come down here and get tested. And I immediately hung up the phone, like, absolutely not. This call is not for me. A week later, I received that call again. Like, hello, Sawaun, we need you to come down here and get tested. At this time in high school, I'm a peer mentor. I'm going around to others talking about sexual health in school, things that you need to know, how to wear a condom, how to protect yourself. And I received this call. So I contacted a mentor of mine, and we went to Children's Hospital to get tested. And I sat in the waiting room for about an hour, and the lady came out and she said, you are HIV positive. And I just looked at my mentor and I just broke down crying, me like, what the fuck? Literally, that's how I felt. I'd known people who died from it as a kid. I had a cousin and a few community people. So immediately I thought, like, I'm about to die. I didn't want to accept it. I had no choice but to accept it. So that night I just cried, and I'm like, who can I tell? Because HIV, Black community, gay community, it was always talked about, like, if you had it. So I was so scared. About a week later, I contacted my mother and I told her, and she had no knowledge on HIV, what it was, but she hung up the phone and she immediately did her research, and she called me back and she said, we gonna beat this. She said, this is what we gotta do. This is what you have to do. And so that started my journey. I began to get on medication. I started with the triplet. Those who were diagnosed with HIV in your early years, you know about a triplet. It gives you nightmares, mood swings, things like that. So I'm navigating life now. I'm grown, navigating life. Still not accepting the fact that I have a child. I have HIV. Homeless, couch surfing, as they say, sleeping with older men to stay at their place or get a place to stay. Life is just spiraling down. What's up, everyone? My name is Sawaun, and you are watching Black, Bold, and Beautiful, My Story. So that was hard for me. As I became older, before my mother's passing, we had a conversation, and she said, address it with those siblings so you can have closure. So one time we were at a family gathering, and I called it out from both of the siblings, like why? And it got crazy, but it was told to me that they had no understanding because it was something that was done to them. And so they didn't have an understanding what they were doing. And they apologized, and that was the end of that. And that helped me because I had no understanding what was happening to me as a kid. So that was great. That was something that was a healing moment for me. 2021, on Father's Day, my mother died in her sleep. My biggest supporter, someone who helped me through suicide, 2 suicide attempts, through molestation, through being homeless, through mental health, depression. She left this earth. And having a big family, we never had a big death like this. So all my siblings and myself, we were all still shook from this, I would say. I was like, why? You took someone who I confided in. I did ask those questions to God, like, why you take someone who I confided in, told all my deep, darkest secrets, she's gone. And I had to understand that in life, we are only here for a time. We're not here for forever. And I'm learning that. And death is a part of life. And I had to accept that. But it taught me to instill those values that my mom pushed on us. She was big in community. She was big in the prison ministry. I've seen her go through drugs, alcohol, and come out of that recovered. So when she died, it put a charge in me. She also had a nonprofit as well called the Favor Foundation. So when she died, I immediately left corporate America and went to nonprofit. And then I got into therapy because that was one thing my mom asked before she died. She asked all her siblings, if you can go to therapy, that would be great. To let go of a lot of things that we experienced. Me being the youngest, I didn't experience a lot that my older siblings experienced. They saw way more than me. So it was easy for me to sit on the couch. It's kind of harder for my siblings. But therapy really did help me to where I am now. So after her death, it seemed like my life just began to take off, which I really wish she was here for to see. But I know she's happy and proud. I said I was about to go cry. Thank you.
Kingdom Image Arts is more than just an organization. It's a beacon of hope and possibility for our community. Through our initiatives, we strive to build confidence, develop skills, and cultivate a deep appreciation for the arts and the world around us. We believe that by investing in the arts, we can create a more vibrant, resilient, and compassionate community. One where every individual feels valued, supported, and empowered to pursue their passion and dreams.
What's up, everyone? My name is Sawaun, and you are watching Black, Bold, and Beautiful, My Story. One thing before my mother died is she came to me and she said, go get your son. And I was like, Mom, I don't know how to be a dad. My father's in prison. I've never seen fatherhood. I've seen him in and out my life. So I didn't understand how to be a father. But I had a community who was like, we're here to support you. I thought my son hated me, thought he wouldn't love me. And so I reached out to have a conversation, and he received me with open arms when that was confirmation to me that I'm doing something right and that I have another chance to figure this thing called life out. Me and my son are so close now. Aspiring model, entrepreneur, designer. It helps push me because I know I have a legacy to leave behind now with me being a Black gay man who is HIV positive. I'm breaking stigma. I'm talking about my story. I'm talking about living with HIV. I'm helping people who are newly diagnosed or who's been diagnosed for years, who have no support team or no one to talk to, who feel alone. It was hard for me to sit and say, I am someone who is living with HIV because of the stigma. But once I did it for the first time, and the feedback that I received from people who are diagnosed or just community members who lost someone from it, I knew there was a purpose for my story. And where I am now, producer for Shades of Red. It's an event in honor of World AIDS Day every year on December 1st, where it is a day of art, music, and fashion where we celebrate those who are living and thriving with HIV, but we also remember those who we lost from the virus. It's a day of love, a day of community, a day of support. This is year 4. I'm so excited for where it's going. I'm so excited for where we are now. People who are going through or who have been through what I have been through. A lot of times people stop me in the stores, online, anywhere, and say, you are so strong. Just dealing with the debt, everything I've been through in life. This is just a glimpse of my story. But people tell me, like, you are so strong. And therapy, my friends, community, surround yourself with people who are truly, genuinely supporting of your vision, your goals, your dreams. Get in therapy. That saved my life. Talk about what you've been through. Open up, cry. Love on yourself, believe in yourself. It had to start with me loving who I really am. For me to understand that someone can love me, I had to love myself. And I'm in a place now where I'm so in love with myself. I'm so in love where I'm going. I get up every day. I take pride in my appearance. Where you can find me. I'm based in Columbus, Ohio. On social media, my platform is Sawaun Blakely, and also Unique Style Kid. And my hashtag, if you can't find me, is Style by Blakely. And this is my story.
I thank you for telling your story, because so many people can create a narrative about your story, but I'm happy that you are able to tell your story, and whatever else everybody else think that's untrue, forget them. Right. Right. So how you feel?
I feel good.
Yeah?
I feel great, actually.
Yeah. What are you looking forward to now that you told your story?
I'm looking forward to, it's out there now.
Yeah.
People being healed, people being able to share what they've been through. Because if you hear someone else say what they've been through, it helps you to speak on what you've gone through. So,
yeah. Well, I'm happy that you're here. I can't wait. Thank you. Love you. Love you.
Hi, I'm Tara Kimball Franklin. You are watching Black, Bold, and Beautiful, My Story. Make sure to follow us on YouTube at BLKBB